Hello, everyone. You are most welcome. My name is Godfrey Mukisa. I'm the team lead at EduTech. I want to welcome whoever is on the call. I also want to take this opportunity and thank Mr. Wogisha for accepting to take us through this session. Mr. Baligasima, you're most welcome. We are live streaming even on YouTube. When we put up the Google tools,
I don't know whether you can hear. Sorry, we could have lost team lead. Team lead, we're not hearing you. I want to ask you to make the remarks again. Your microphone is muted. Kindly unmute.
Sorry, I went off because of internet.
I
am now back. I was saying that I'm welcoming everyone who is on this call, and I want to appreciate Mr. Wogisha for accepting to take us through today's session, Google Calendar. So in a few minutes, we're going to have him speak to us. But before he speaks to us, I wanted to share with you about the Tech Club. I wanted to share with you about the EduTech Club. EduTech Club. Let me share something on the screen. Come up with some flyer. Okay.
Director, we can't hear you. Sorry about that. Comrades Godfrey is offline. I would wish to think he's going to connect back again. May I interact with Comrade Aramazan? Good afternoon, Comrade.
Hello.
Yes, hello.
I hope you can hear me.
Yeah.
Your network.
My network is bad. I think this one is okay.
Okay. This one is okay.
without wasting time, let me have Mr. Ogisha, and then I will share the flyer later.
Okay. Thank you very much, team leads. Kindly having joined in, I ask that you make me host, because initially I was host, so please.
Okay. I make you host.
Co-host, yeah, either co-host or host.
Okay.
Okay, thank you. Allow me share the screen as well. Well, there are two colleagues on call currently, and majority will watch this video later on. I want to greet you in the loving name of Jesus Christ. I am Ogisha Dennis Kruger. I'm an ICT teacher. I'm a website developer, a digital marketer, and I'm a graphic designer. I work with Shareability Uganda, Gema Adventist Secondary School, and so many other companies I support in the business. My email is just there on the screen, you can see. Then together with my website, www.ogishadennis.net. I want to appreciate you all for accepting the invitation and the call for us to share knowledge about this very important subject, calendar. Well, I know majority of us here have utilized this tool, either knowingly or not know, but I want to presume we have all utilized this calendar. Calendar is just another service provided by Google. In the previous sessions, we have had collective discussion to explore the various applications provided by Google as a company. But today we are specific only to calendar. Maybe I would just interact a little bit with my colleague on call, Teacher Champaire. Good afternoon. Good afternoon. Good afternoon.
Yes, good afternoon, sir.
Good to have you, comrade.
Yeah, I'm also very glad to hear from you.
Do you use Google Calendar?
No, this is going to be my first time to use it, maybe after attending this lesson.
Okay. Okay. Thank you for coming. Though I will engage you later on. Let me also hear again from Comrade Aramanzan. Comrade Aramanzan, I heard from you. I greeted you previously. So welcome.
Thank you.
Do you use Google Calendar?
Yeah, I use.
Okay. Thank you. How is your experience? If you share with us, how do you find it as an application of? Would you like it?
I like it. That's I try it. Because not yet experienced with it. That's why I attended such that I can get my experience.
Okay, good to have you. Now with you, now that you have already some basics, we'll be sharing some tricks and hacks as a teacher. Finally, let me hear from Shiba, that is for gender balance. Comrade Shiba, good afternoon.
Hello.
Hello.
You hear me?
Yes, absolutely. We can hear you crystal clear.
Sorry, there is a lot of background noise and I can't turn on my video.
It's fine, it's fine. Just one little question to get started. Do you use Google Calendar?
Yes, please.
How is your experience? How do you find it? Is it okay? Do you like it?
Yeah, I like it because
Mm,
you know that sometimes you have that fixed schedule and then
mm, mm,
you get
mm,
a notification that hey, you have a meeting, you have this, you have
mm,
to meet with this one,
mm,
So
mm.
it gets very interesting because you are always reminded by the notification.
Wow, I like that experience. Thank you, Shiba. I request that you be on call until the end as we share some tricks and hacks how we can use it professional as IT people.
Okay, please.
You're welcome. Now, those are just representatives. We're not going to add more because of time, but I know a majority would later on share some experience. In a nutshell, before we do practical, let us just run through what calendar is. So calendar is a powerful tool for managing our time and staying organized. Have you ever missed out an event or an activity because you forgot? Have you ever been called to be reminded of something that you should have attended, but because of maybe lack of good schedule and management, you didn't attend? So Google Calendar comes to give us that ease, that simplicity in managing our activities, in organizing all our tasks. The features in calendar include event scheduling, reminders, of course, integrating other applications. We looked at Google, rather Gmail as a service and Drive. Did you know that we can integrate these two so that as you create events, you provide attachments? Those are some of the questions you think about as you go along. Benefits, Madam Shiba has already hinted on one of them, getting reminders, getting notification, but Google Calendar as a whole would help increase our productivity. Why? That it would allow us get notification through event scheduling, allow us keep all our schedules implemented. It would allow us collaborate as a team for where you have a staff or you have a team which comprises of digital members or members who press technology, you have emails. Yeah, that is just an image of the calendar, screenshot of the calendar. We'll look at what it is and how we utilize it. Now, finally, at the end of the presentation, we'll look at some of the tips and tricks. I don't want to preempt this presentation by showing you some of the tips and hacks. Allow me again to stop this share and then share afresh. You see, in the first 4 minutes, we have shared briefly what Google Calendar is, some of the few features, and just to sample benefits, how helpful it can be to us. So how do we get started? How do we use this service or application for professionally as IT people? So allow me again share my screen and we do through the practical how we can use it. Okay, now I have shared my screen. Just like any other service for ease, it requires you to have a Gmail, that is a Google account. Currently, I'm using Google Chrome. Launched my Chrome, and what I'm supposed to do is to enter the URL. I can browse Google Calendar direct by entering here the URL. But if I'm logged in with Chrome, I just simply have to come and click on this Google Apps. And I click on this icon, they will show me all the applications of. We have tried to discuss this in the previous like workshop we had, virtual workshop we had. So out of this, I am going to scroll and then identify calendar. Remember, like I guided, before you access calendar, you have to have signed in. That means if you go to a cafe, for example, now if I try to open a new browser, which is not logged in, I don't have the apps here. You should not wonder why maybe you open Mozilla Firefox or you open Edge or another browser and you don't get the apps. You only get the apps as a shortcut which comes as a result of signing in already your email. Now that I have shown that hint, just click the icons, the Google Apps launcher, then click on calendar. And that's my calendar. Apparently, I will be just first showing you how helpful this calendar has been to me, and then we'll later on discuss how you can create your. So first things first, the screen you're seeing, let me just get some quick feedback, maybe from teacher Aramanzan. Comrade Aramanzan, are you able to see my screen?
Yes, I'm able to see it.
Well, thank you for the feedback. Okay, let us continue. Apparently, this calendar is viewing a complete month. Now, take a look. On the top of this calendar is this bar having these icons. First of all, we have this main menu. Apparently, the main menu is active. You can collapse it by simply clicking this icon. Now, still on top, we have this part where today you may want to switch the calendar to only display a given date. But to always have a good view, you can choose to view your calendar as a day. You can either choose to view it as a week. You can choose to view it in a month time, and then you can choose to view it in a year. I'll be showing you keyboard shortcuts later. That is to display the views. So by default, it is always normal on month, but you can always customize views of how you want your calendar to display. That is in the views. Then secondly, if you can check very well, when I clicked on the menu, they showed me the complete month and then the current active days. You know, today is 20th, and it is why on this calendar as a complete month, 20 is highlighted. Yeah. Then below this month icon, we have the calendars. I have so many calendars. I have this calendar I use for lessons, lessons I teach. Then also there are calendars that I have here by virtue of Google Classroom. Google Classroom that I am enrolled as a teacher. Ready? I have these calendars. So how do you create a calendar? You go into that part. Just to summarize again, when you launch Google Calendar, first thing is to customize your view that you want to take a look at that time. I've gone with math, and apparently these are events that I have shared with my calendar. So we're going to take a little discussion about creating a calendar, creating events, and then creating tasks. Then later on, we shall summarize tips and hacks that can make you a pro as an IT person as you use this service. So to create a calendar, like remember I told you, these are the calendars I have, my left side of the window. So to create a calendar, you simply click the Create tab. You simply, to create a calendar, you scroll, wait a little bit. You scroll, you first click on this menu, and then you scroll down. You can check by default, if you don't have a calendar, you don't see any calendar here. But if you want to create another one, scroll a little bit until you see other calendars. So to create a calendar, you simply click on the plus sign, and then you click Create a new calendar. We're going to take a look. Imagine you want to create a calendar about church. This case, I'll be taking demonstration about church. So I'm going to create my calendar for the church, which will allow me organize all my events that happen in my church. So I put here the calendar name, and in a description where this calendar will capture all the events that unfold church. Then maybe the time zone still to remain the East Africa by default. I am the owner. So you can choose later on to collaborate this calendar with other people, but I'm the owner, so I'll leave at that point. Then finally, when you've added all the settings, you click create. Calendar creation in process. Just hold on a little bit as the calendar is being created. Okay, calendar created successfully. Now, if you take a look here, I'm going to go back to out of settings. Below my calendar menu here, we have different calendars. The tick shows that all the events will be displayed. If you don't want to display the events, you just uncheck. Apparently, I'm going to remove a tick on all these calendars so that would have only that calendar we created. Being ticks just because I don't want these calendars to be active. I only want to have church so that we can discuss how you can utilize that. So you can see if I unselect, if I remove ticks on all these calendars, my calendar remains clean or blank because there is no any other event, there is no task I have created for that reason. Now to begin using the calendar, first tick the calendar you want to use. For example, I've clicked on church since I want to use this calendar. After you have selected the calendar, of course, the immediate thing, if you buy a calendar, always use a marker to circle some dates that are important. After circling those dates, you go ahead to either use a sticky notes to summarize what you're going to do that day and pin on that day. That's how we do physical calendars. So here, what we are going to do is to begin creating events and tasks for our calendar. Now, to create an event, there are many methods, and I'll be showing only two methods. Now, method one, we click on the create. So when I click on create, they will require me to choose what I want to create. Do I want to create an event or task? So I click on events. Then normally, these are the details you have to capture on the event. First of all is the event title. And then I want to call this as prayers. I'm putting for prayers. Let me call it Sabbath. I'm Seventh-day Adventist. So I want to create reminders for me to go to church. So Sabbath is the event I've created. Still, if you switch your mind and you don't want to create an event, you can always just click here, task. But I'm going with the event. I'll give explanation between the differences. That is between the event and the task. The next thing you have to add after creating the event is a date when that will come. So you click on this part and then you choose the date. My worship is always on Sabbath. So I select one of the Saturday, which is ahead, 24th. Then I have to select time. Create the title, you select the date. The next part is for you to choose time. So my Sabbath begins, I'm going to use 6 a.m. to 6 p.m. That's the time I am supposed to be at church. But to be very specific, because I go to church, let me put the time I'm supposed to be in church. That is 8:30 a.m. to last time. That is the, technically, I'm going to 5 p.m. 5. Okay, 5 p.m. is here. 5 a.m. to 5 p.m. I can manually type. If it is disturbing you, can just type in. Then the next thing you do is, you want this to be happening every Saturday. Click this drop down arrow to choose the way you want it to repeat. You want to appear weekly every Saturday. You want to appear monthly on the 4th Saturday. You want to make it on the last Saturday in a month. I'm going to make it weekly every Sabbath, because it is a repetitive task I keep doing. Do I have members I worship with? Maybe as guests. For now, I'm going to leave it alone. Then I can put my local church as Bugema Adventist School, Bugema Adventist Chapel. So there's a part for map, can always just type here the name of the place. If it is there on the map, get it. And then finally, you click save. So if you can check very on my calendar now, I have a Sabbath created as an event. So meaning I can always receive notification. I'm going to show you how you set notifications for this very event, but Google will give you the notification for this event. Every Sabbath, I'll be attending this worship. The color, if you can check right now, it is in some part of black, but you can customize the color. You just click on it. You click on it, edit here. But let me first create another event as I summarize creating events. Create, then event. I want to say I will have fasting on Friday. So I'm putting here prayer and fasting. Normally, without this scheduling, can have in mind to do an activity and then you forget. So if Google Calendar can help send us notifications whenever we have these events. So I've written another event that is prayer and fasting. And this event, I want to make it on Sunday, 25th. Timing, I'm going to start in the morning. Sunday, that is around 6 a.m. up to maybe 7 p.m. Let me just make it, type here 6 p.m. Am I going to repeat it? No, this one is just, does not have a repeat because I'm only going to play this week. Then the location, I am going to be home, so I can ignore this. The calendar, it is still church. See, calendar is still selected. Then when I'm done, I just click save. Can check very well. Sunday, my Sunday, like I will show you later on, has been created. This event, prayer and fasting. Now, you can also create an event by simply double clicking on a day. Say, on Wednesday, we have some fellowship. I just come and click on the day. Sorry, double click on the day. If you click once, to just select the day. So you just double click on it. If you click, they will ask you to choose the time. Yeah, but I would love that you double click instead of clicking, put this to mark. So let's say Wednesday, you double click on Wednesday. Then you select time when this event is going to occur. Maybe a meeting at 5 p.m. Double click, type here the event name. I'm calling it sorry about that. I think it was network issue. Let me just confirm. I have Fred who joined us during the presentation. Good afternoon, Fred. Okay, let me speak to Aramanzan.
Good afternoon, sir.
Oh, were you picking? Were you with us from the very start of the presentation? Fred?
I joined at 4:30.
Okay, let us summarize that and we call it a meeting. So on this day of Wednesday, this event has been created at 5 p.m. Apparently, I'm displaying only a day, that is Wednesday. I want to switch back this to March, and like you can see, I so far have few events. I have this fellowship, I have Sabbath that I've created. Then there is an event that I deliberately, but I wanted you to later see how we delete events. How do you delete an event? If you wanted to delete an event, you simply right click on the event. Like here, I put Sabbath on Sunday. So I don't want this Sabbath to be Sunday. So how do I delete it? You just take your cursor over that day or that event, and then right click on it and then select delete. Now, while deleting events, you should always be mindful of this. You want to delete just one event which has been selected. You want to delete this event and others which come after, or you want to delete everything, including those that have elapsed. So I'm going to select all the events on Sunday because I don't have Sabbath. Okay, I think that was now finally, how do we create a task? At least I have shown you how we create an event. And I also want to show you a task, then we show the difference between a task and event. So to create a task, you simply click the create tab, click task. This time around, the task has only limited details we capture. First of all, we capture the task. Say, I am going for shopping. Here, go for shopping. That is a task. And timing, the day, of course, it is important. Both events and tasks, you must be categorical when they should be done in day and time. I want to presume this task is going to be done tomorrow, Wednesday 21st. If you're going to do it the whole day, then you check this box. That is the whole. Are you going to be doing task shopping every week on that single date? Then if it is that, you choose weekly every Wednesday. If it has no recurring event, just leave it to does not repeat. But I want to presume, like I said, I'm going to do it once for all. So I'm not going to make it repeat. And then you now provide a description where you are going, maybe some budget, and then finally you click save. So you can see on Wednesday around 6 p.m., just after fellowship, I have event listed as going for shopping. Still, I'm using my calendar church. You can see the difference. Here, the church is in black, then task here is in green. But what's the difference? You know, some members can use events and task interchangeably as the same thing. But I want to show you technical difference between an event and a task. When I double click on Tuesday, let me double click on Friday. Supposing I wanted to create an event on Friday, I double click here, Friday, and then I put the event time. Let's say preparing Sabbath, preparation for Sabbath. That is the event. Now, look here. I want you to see the difference between an event and a task. Then I will summarize the theory. When I'm creating the event, there are lots of details I can include. First of all, I can add a location. Then 2, I can add notification. You can see, unlike the tasks which only have description, if you can see, if I switch to task, where is it? When I switch to task, you realize I will have limited. I only have a title and description, but event, I can capture a lot of details. I can even add an attachment as a budget if I'm going to do budget that day. My I can upload anything. If it is a lesson, I can upload my lesson plan, scheme of work, and lesson notes I'm going to use by using this icon attachment. So I'm not going to save this. I'm discarding it because I wanted to show you. If you're creating a task, you can only keep the title. You can only create a title and then also the description. Maybe perhaps as well, creating a category of these tasks, but you cannot provide a location, you can add attachment, you cannot create. So events practically can allow us create more information about some set of scheduled activities, unlike the tasks. So I have one event here, then I also have a task. I think that is all what summarizes. Like I said, when you open a calendar, first thing is you just begin by choosing the view you want to utilize. Then after choosing the view, create the calendar, or you select the calendar. Select the calendar you want to use. After selecting the calendar, now you can go ahead and create your tasks. You create your task from the set of activities that you're going to do and the time those activities that they will take place. Now, finally, because I want to interact with for some questions and share experiences. Those who already had some ideas of calendar, what are some of tips and hacks that can make you pro as an IT personnel as you use Google Calendar? First of all is the keyboard, the keyboard track. I want you to see very well. I was, from the very start, I was switching between different views using this tab. I click on the mark, then I choose. So most of these commands have keyboard shortcuts that can help you. So how do you use those keyboard shortcuts? Click on settings, then you under settings, go to keyboard and shortcuts. You make sure the tick is on the keyboard. If you remove a tick on the keyboard that is under settings, then you can't use the keyboard shortcuts. After activating the shortcuts or making them active, to now use them, you press Shift and the question mark. I clicked Shift and question mark at once. So these are some of the shortcuts. If I want to get views, if I want to display the day, like I'll demonstrate, I can either D1. If I want to display a week, I can click 2 or W. If I want to display a month, I can click 3 or M, and lots of shortcuts. Let me just demonstrate practically. So apparently, if I click D, I display a day because the keyboard shortcut is active. If I click W, I display a week. If I click M, I display a month. And if I only want to see the activities I've scheduled, that is, I click A. A is a shortcut for displaying only the activities you have scheduled in your calendars. I'm going to leave it at M. So that is one tip or hack as a pro, which you can use as an IT personnel. Then the second tip or hack you can use as an IT personnel in customizing calendar, you can make use of colors to organize your calendars very precisely. Like, take a look. If this lesson, this was an event, I scheduled every Wednesday to teach this lesson senior because I ticked on lesson. Initially, this calendar was unselected. So I would only have the church activities that were scheduled. So if I tick my calendars back, let me tick them. I want now to show you some few things as I wind up. I want to tick all these calendars because I have scheduled some activities there. I would want you to see. Okay, so like you can see, this is my calendar. What some of the calendars I've left, others unchecked. So you note that every calendar here has a color it uses. Lesson is blue. The color of this calendar is in. How do you change the color of a given calendar? Go under calendars, you click the dots, and then you select the color you want those events and activities to be. So while you are analyzing your calendar, you can use those colors to differentiate between tasks and from calendars. For example, lesson, I've put them in red. So whenever I see red on my calendar, I know there is a lesson. Lesson. But you can as well, even when every lesson is appearing red, you can differentiate between different lessons in different classes by also varying colors. I have senior 6 lesson, then I also have some senior 4 lessons. So if I want to differentiate the senior 6 lessons from senior 4 lesson, I simply take the calendar, the arrow, calendar, then right click on it, then I choose the color. As you can see, this only event has been in the color I want. The other lessons will stay in red, but only the senior 6 lesson I've put it in. So that is a very important tip you can utilize as an IT person. Now, the other second last is moving an event from one day to another. Say I have let me take you to June. Is okay. June. This is June. Current month is June, and currently I am displaying month. Calendar is displaying month. Month view. So if I wanted to move this lesson Wednesday from this time, maybe to Tuesday, the dose has changed. Me initially I'd scheduled in my calendar Wednesday, but they have scheduled now to Tuesday. Same time, what do? I want to do it quickly. You just take the pointer to that very day, and then you drag it to that single part. So when you drag, still this message will come. Do you want to drag only that event, all the events? I want to drag that in, so I click OK. See, the lesson from Wednesday to Tuesday. Finally, how about now the notifications? Notifications, because I said one of the ultimate advantage using calendars is to manage your activities so that you receive, say, notifications regarding to time when those activities will occur, so that you can plan accordingly not to miss. So how do you customize those notifications? To customize notifications, you go to settings. You see, click on settings. Then after clicking on settings, you go to event notifications. Of course, under notification, you should know I am now customizing for all the events. But if you only want to change the event settings, under which we have notifications, under settings, go to event settings. So under event settings, there are several things you can customize. You'll go through this as an IT personnel, but I wanted to show you the notification part. So here, I get 5 minutes before the event. Before the event, you can click this drop down arrow and customize the time you want to get notification. And you can see it will always play sounds. You either uncheck if you don't want. Yeah, for the computer to play sound. This is for desktop, if you're using a desktop. But still, under every event, say, I want to show you this calendar. If I click on this calendar for church, please take note, if you go to this calendar for church, then you click this dots here, is settings and sharing. You may want to only activate or customize settings for only one calendar. So you click on the calendar, then you click the dots on the calendar, go to settings and sharing, then under settings and sharing for notifications, and under notification events, you can add notifications, that is to email, for you to receive an email informing you or notifying you or alerting you of a given activity that will occur. Please note that these settings are saved automatically. There's nowhere where you click save. Whatever you always adjust, always is saved automatically. Now, briefly, that's what I feel. Practically, I would encourage us to utilize these settings and to use the calendar. I beseech you, I encourage us to make use. I've just demonstrated here. You see, in June, where the month which is on pink, I've used this to customize my events for lesson. Then I've also used this to customize the church. You can make use of any customization you feel want to utilize. Shall keep engaging, shall keep sharing. And that is all what I wanted to share with you. Maybe at this material time, I'm going to invite colleagues who have questions to ask, and then where possible, I can make some clarification. Thank you very much for listening. I want to invite you to interact with me through questions and answer session. Unfortunately, Comrade Fred, Rachel joined in when we had started, so I don't know. Yes, Director, the lead facilitator, I want to ask you to make some comments, maybe just a minute. Let me hear from Aramanzan. Aramanzan. Comrade Aramanzan. Okay. I can't hear from him. Can't hear from him. So, lead facilitator, I want to invite you. That's all what I would share briefly in regard to using calendars. I know there are more experiences we would share, but that's what I would share briefly. Thank you for the opportunity.
Thank you so much, Mr. Ogisha. I hope
Welcome.
you can hear me.
Yes, clearly.
Yeah, thank you so much. We appreciate. Me, I've been seeing those calendars. I've not been using them. Some people share the calendars in my calendars, but I've just been seeing the calendars. I didn't know what to do about them. And I would really try to see that you can use the calendar. There are some tutorials, but I'd never understand this. This one going to save me so much. Appointments, what I'm doing. Just like, for example, when we learned about the Google, we learned about the YouTube. We didn't have any video on YouTube, and I was able to upload all the videos for our activity that we did on FAST. And even this video, I'm going to add it there. So that experience that if I learn something, I go and practice. Even the calendar, I'm going to put there all my activities. As a student, I'm work, I also put there some calendar for work. I also do another calendar for church. And so this has been helpful to me, and I believe whoever that is going to watch via the YouTube and so on, this is amazing. Thank you so much. Back to you. I think I'm able to share my experience.
Okay. All right. I think finally, I just want to encourage colleagues who have been on call to use the calendars. You know, daily, there are several tasks we do. Before I started using Google Calendar, I was using Microsoft to-do lists. And I want to share, I have a good experience with it, and I liked it. But the reason why I chose to continue using Calendar to Microsoft was the ease to collaborate. Most of the colleagues I work with today have a Gmail account, Google account. So after creating your calendar and creating a given task, you can go ahead to add a lesson plan. Let me just do this lastly. then I will sign out accordingly. Take a look here. I have a senior. I think you can see my screen again. Could you see my screen?
Yes.
Yeah, I have a lesson on Friday that is at 7 a.m. at Bugema Adventist Secondary School. That's where I'm going to teach you. So I can go ahead and edit this event. Then I add my lesson plan. Give example. I am going to click upload. Then access my computer. Wait a little bit. Here. They ask me to browse the file. So I'm going to go to my computer. I browse to my term 2 here. And then lesson plans, I choose old curriculum. I'm going to upload the senior 6 lesson plan. I'll be using that very day. Now take an assumption that I fell sick. This is a lesson plan, I've added it. I want to as well add my scheme of work. So I'm going to browse the very drive, that is a scheme of work, and I'm going to add the scheme of work for senior 6. Then finally, I'm going to add the lesson set. So I go to attach, I go to upload, choose still the same drive, I choose notes that I'll be using as presentation. I'm teaching currently databases. Now, in the event that I became sick and my colleague is at school, I want her to help me. I can go ahead and collaborate. I can collaborate this event. When I collaborate this event, when I add a guest to this event, they can see my lesson plan. They can also see the scheme of work and database easily. Download it and it will help cover me a class even when I'm not around that day. So I've saved this event here as got. You see, the event title is here. Day is here when I'm going to teach. Education is here and the materials are here. So I can go ahead and invite a person to help me teach. I think that is what I wanted to share with members. I can click here and then I add the guest. For example, on call, I have Mr. Mukisa. So, Mr. Mukisa, are your email?
Godfrey Mukisa.
Godfrey. I think you've not composed to me. Like that?
Use the EduTech clubs. EduTech
that
club.
is EduTech club.
Clubs. S.
Sorry?
EduTech clubs. Add S.
At gmail.com. So finally, from this very part, after adding this guest, this person here can go ahead and access these materials I've added. My lesson plan, my scheme of work, my notes. Then if it was a virtual meeting, I would even put here the Google Meet link for members to utilize. So this is why I would prefer to use calendar to managing my events to Microsoft. Microsoft has also the part to share, but the challenge I have is I cannot share with the other members because they don't have the Microsoft account. They don't have the Microsoft account. The majority of the users today have accounts. So where we want to collaborate and share very easily stuff, then Google Calendar gives speak. That is all what I wanted to add. Thank you, Fred Champaire. Thank you, Fred. Thank you, Aramanzan, Comrade Rachel, for attending. And others will watch this video later on as they get enriched through Classroom, Google Calendar. I also extend sincere appreciation our lead director, lead facilitator, Mr. Musa, for giving us chance to share and coordinating widely to attend. Thank you all. I wish you we shall keep interacting in other sessions where we get a chance, we shall keep interacting. Now we end at this point. Back to our lead.
Thank you so much.
Miss.
Thank you so much, Tagisha. Been amazing session. And these sessions are to be going like more we have at the same time tomorrow we are going to learn how to use Sheets other than Microsoft. Excel. Google has Sheets. Sheets, you're going to find it everywhere. So other than getting someone to install for you software and so on, just get your Gmail and use the Sheets. When you're using a laptop, when you are using a computer, you just browse the web. But if you are using a mobile phone, you always have to download the app Sheets, and you are able to do. Our main here is our vision is that we vision a world where education is accessible to all, irrespective of socio-economic background or geographical location. That's why you are seeing these sessions are free and they are online. You can be anywhere in the world and access these sessions. However, some sessions are going to be physical. Like I think by next week we will have some training in analytics, so that will be physical. So we'll be sharing information. I know members have not been able to join this session because it was in a short notice, and the interest of the calendar was not to everyone. It was very few people. It was seen, and you have seen, just because members don't know the what Google can do other than getting a diary you are working with everywhere, which they can steal it away or can have issues that because Google Calendar is just your Hotmail account, and we are not collecting any new data, but we are saying your Gmail you acquired from Google, that Google can be able to access other tools from Google because there is some law on data, personal data. So we are saying those accounts you're having, you can access the sheets, the so on, and we are going to share a lot. We are using free tools, but there is premium. I think later on, I don't know which time, but we'll have a master class after you have mastered the free, and then we'll be able to see the master class on Google Tools. That will be in tools. Number two is about next training in July is going to be about social media basics, do's and don'ts. How can you use it in the classroom? How can you use it in the workplace? So we'll also be sharing about that. With the onerous announcement, I don't forget that the president, EduTech Club president for UICT is today is his birthday. So happy birthday, John Paul Segane. That was my conclusion. I want to end at saying that thank you for attending. Let's learn. The slogan from Automatic, I never stop learning. I think I will always use that one. Never stop learning. Within this technology, when you stop learning, you remain behind so many years. You left when you stop in 1 day or 1 week or 1 month, 1 year, you go backward. People will leave you so many miles. Just like I told you, July social media basics, and in August we will have artificial intelligence. What are the opportunities? What are the challenges? How can you how can we benefit from the opportunities that come with artificial intelligence? We'll be hosting an expert in it. We'll also have a dialogue where we'll share views and contribute in the discussion. Thank you so much. Only if someone is something, let me read the messages. Then Fred is saying, thanks for that. I'll be able to customize my calendar and get my task done with ease. Wow. And he was wishing a happy birthday to the host club. For people who paid for certificates and not released any certificate because the training is ending after every speaker has spoken. And we will put up some assignments, some quiz. If you pass that quiz with 8%, whether you paid or not, you get your certificate. So that's why we have delayed a bit, but that's all. Only someone is asking something, but shoots about 10 minutes ahead of what time, but we ended the session in time. Thank you so much. Let us end the session now and for tomorrow with the Moses Sebufo. So have a bye. Mr. Orisha,
Comrade,
I think we can end it from can end the meeting and we shall keep in touch. Thank you so
thank you too, colleagues, for being on call. Look forward to having you again.